Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to go over the loadout that I typically use for fall to winter camping. And when I say camping, I'm really talking about more of a bushcraft style camp. This is not, I'm not hiking 10 miles to a site. I don't do that very often. That's just not my thing right now. But what I do enjoy is finding a nice spot in the woods, hiking in with my gear, setting up and kind of setting up a base camp, and then kind of shooting off during the day and just doing some exploring. I'll either do that solo, or I like to get together with a group of friends, a bunch of guys that I've been camping with for quite a while, and it's really enjoyable for me, and it's a great time to get away and get out of the city and get into the woods and enjoy myself. But with winter coming and the temperatures dropping really quickly, and the temperature's been weird lately. It's been 70 degrees one day and then freeze advisory at night. So at this time of year in November, that we're approaching November now, you have to have your gear a little bit more versatile. You have to have several different things with you to be prepared for a drop in temperature, especially if you're camping in elevation, which sometimes I have been known to do in Pennsylvania. Kind of go up in the mountains up there a little bit. Not real mountains compared to some places, but nevertheless, they're definitely higher up in elevation than down here in the flatlands of Ohio. So you need to be prepared for that and have good equipment that's going to keep you warm and dry. So what I've put together here is the stuff that I'm going to typically take with me, and I'm really going to go in depth also on clothing, because I think that's probably one of the most important things, is the clothing that you bring and that you wear. So we're going to get into it, so stick around. Now when I'm talking about camping in the wintertime, I'm probably not talking about 3 feet of snow, even though I've done it before and I do enjoy it. That takes even more equipment, different equipment, especially with clothing and boots and things like that, and sleep systems. So let's say, for the sake of this video, the purposes of what we're doing today, that we're really talking about a range of anywhere from 50 degrees to 24 degrees, somewhere in that range. We're a little bit below freezing. Not hitting single digits yet, but we're definitely cold enough that that you really have to be concerned with what you're bringing, what you're wearing. So this is my loadout, what I'm using. Of course, there are millions of options for you, and it all really depends on your personal style. So if you're a person who's a thru hiker or a backpacker, your equipment's going to be a lot different, a lot lighter. This equipment is, like I said, for a base camp, so it's more of a bushcraft style of camp. It's a lot of heavy base camp equipment like axes and saws and things like that. So take that into note, because it's important to remember that when you're watching these videos, that everybody's style is a little bit different. This is my style, and the options that I'm using are not necessarily the ones that you have to use. It's whatever you like to use or do. So first of all, I just want to kind of go over clothing, because I think that is one of the most important aspects of camping, especially in cold weather. So the first thing is a good pair of sturdy boots that are waterproof. I don't typically wear insulated boots because they get too hot for my feet. I would prefer to wear wool socks or wool blend sock, and then either an undersock to control temperature. Of course, I'm not in deep snow, so that's a whole different category and story right there. But right now what I'm using are these Salomons. They are great boots. They're very sturdy, have a great stiff shank in them, so you can hike in these things. And they're Gore-Tex, so they're gonna repel water, keep your feet dry, and also breathe a little bit. And I've had these for a number of years, and you can see they're pretty well used, but they're great. I like them a lot. Great for this time of year. The next thing that's really important is some kind of a shell or layer that you can wear around camp, especially if you're around campfires, and I prefer wool. I do have technical shells that are nylon, you know, you have to be careful with those because, of course, around a campfire, they're going to melt pretty quickly if they hit with an ember. Wool will burn, but it takes a little bit longer, so you can usually get it out quicker if you're aware of it. But with nylon, as soon as that ember hits it, it's gone, and you've got a hole. So this tends to work better for me. Now, what I'm using right now is this pullover, or what some people call an anorak style, and this is from Absel. Fred Absel is an archer, and he and his wife actually designed and manufacture these wool garments, and they're heavy duty, you know, wool blanket style anoraks. They have a nice big kangaroo pocket in the front which passes through, and you got, you know, a zipper pocket to store some stuff that's lined, and then a nice big deep neck and a large hood. This is perfect for throwing over yourself in the evenings when you're sitting around the campfire. It's you know, it keeps you warm, it regulates your temperature really nicely, and it's durable and it's comfortable, and it really gives you a lot of freedom of movement. So I love anoraks. If you can find one at a decent price, I say get them. You will not go wrong with wool. I think it's the ultimate for this style of camping. Another thing I like to have is a little lightweight fleece top or undershirt. This goes nicely under wool for layering, and it's soft against the skin. Now underneath this I'm going to have a t-shirt or a polypro of some sort, so this is actually a second layer, and these are nice to sleep in as well. And then in the day when it's hotter, when the sun's out, you can, you know, strip off your heavier layers to this, and you have a comfortable wicking layer that's going to keep you dry. Another item for clothing that I always carry is a good wool shirt. Nice long sleeve shirt. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these. So as far as a budget option, start going to your Goodwill stores, you know, Goodwill and Volunteers of America, places like that, and scour them on a weekly basis. And every once in a while, wool shirts will come in. I found this one, and I think I paid $5 for it, something like that. It's 100% wool. It's a really nice shirt. It fits me. It's a great camp shirt. Once again, just like the wool pullover, it's durable, and it's going to be a great item when you're working around, you know, wood, cutting stuff, and it's, you know, it's just more durable than nylon. I'll go inside the pack here, and this is my dry bag. I use these Gecko brand dry bags. I love them. They're really durable. They sell them at my local store here in town, and they keep my clothes nice and organized and dry. So this is my additional stuff. These are the things that I'm not going to be wearing on me, but it's going to be stuff I'm going to take with me that I'm going to need. So first thing, extra bandana, just a cotton bandana, a body armor t-shirt, just as a nice base layer to wick away moisture. Boxers from Duluth Trading. Those do a good job of moisture management and keeping me dry, and they're very comfortable. Set of polypros, tops and bottoms long. And then an extra pair of socks, heavy socks. It's good to change your socks at night when you go to sleep, instead of sleeping in your wet clothes, your wet socks. You will stay much warmer. And as far as items that I'm going to be wearing outside, there's some supplemental things. I'm going to need a pair of leather gloves for working around the fire. Very important. Wool liner gloves. These are military issue, and they're great when your hands get cold and you just want to slip something on real quick. They're not really great for dexterity because since they're wool, they tend to be kind of slippery when you're trying to grab stuff. They're hard to work with, but if you're just sitting around, and you're cold and you don't want to wear the leather gloves, the wool gloves are better. Definitely keep you warm. And then a wool neck gaiter. So in replacing a turtleneck or a scarf, a wool neck gaiter is really a nice multi-use item. It's going to keep you warm. You can wear it as a bandana, a headscarf, a neck gaiter. You can pull it up over your face as a face mask. So instead of having all those separate items, one piece of tubular wool material like this is going to get you by, and it's going to be very versatile and easy to use, and that's why I like it. Great item to have. And then I'll prefer a fleece stocking cap or toboggan cap, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from. I have wool ones and I have knit acrylic ones. I like the knit acrylic ones, but I really prefer the fleece, and especially for sleeping at, because I actually wear a fleece hat at night when I sleep. It keeps my top of my head warm, keeps my ears warm, but these don't stretch out. If I wear wool, I'll be sweating throughout the day, and that hat will stretch out, and then by the end of the weekend it's completely, you know, it's a mess and it just doesn't look that great. So, and it doesn't do a good job of staying on my head. So the fleece dries off quickly because I sweat a lot, and that's important for me. But you know, if wool may work better for you as a hat, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever you prefer. So that's the clothing items. Okay, let's go over what I have in this front pocket right here. Primarily, this is going to be tools. So, of course, I'm always going to have some type of bushcraft style belt knife, 3 to 4 inch blade, full tang, something that I can really depend on for chores. One thing that I do carry, especially in the winter time and the fall, is a neck knife as well as the belt knife. Now, the reason I carry a neck knife when it's colder is because I have more layers on. It's harder to get to the belt knife sometimes. This gives me a very quick grab and go blade, and this is the White River backpacker that I got from 5 Call Survival Supply. I'll have a link below for that. Great razor sharp neck knife, awesome for just, you know, in your camp you can grab it, do some carving, food prep, whatever. This knife does it all for me, and I don't have to dig for my bigger knife. Another tool is my backup battery for my cameras and my phone. So this is an Anchor battery. It's in this case right here, along with cordage or charging cords and some batteries for my headlamp, things like that. A small possibles pouch. And these are just items I'm going to be using around camp. So I've got my Fall Niven DC4 stone for sharpening my knives. I've got a fire bellows for starting the fire. Some fat wood, lighters, ferro rod, some petroleum cotton ball jelly in a container. So just a variety of small items for getting a fire going and doing some basic maintenance or repair on camp gear. And then moving into bigger tools, I've got an axe. This is the Holtzbrook Anabi. It's a short axe, like a boy's axe, but it has a heavier head, and that's why I picked that one. And I've done a review on this. It's a really nice, affordable axe, I think. And then for my saw, the Silky Gomboy, or excuse me, the Silky Big Boy 2000. Now, I've tried a lot of different types of saws. I've tried the traditional buck saw, the Destrued folding saw. I don't like buck saws. I prefer this, and the Silky is probably one of the most sharp, quick saws I've ever used. This thing will saw through a log like you wouldn't believe. And why I like this is because you're not limited to what a buck saw is. So if you're cutting big logs, your buck saw is going to have a limit to it as far as it goes because of that top brace. This doesn't have that. And then also this has a double position, so you can actually go lower in case you're going down and into the closer to the ground. You can bring that blade up slightly, and that actually helps with cutting. So a really versatile piece of equipment. It's a heavy blade. Get the large tooth if you're gonna get a silky. Get the large tooth. That performs better for sawing wood for fires, I would say. And then another tool that I like to carry, and I've just started carrying this. I'm actually testing this out for somebody. This is a Vargo titanium dig tool. So, you know, you can carry a plastic trowel or a shovel or whatever, but this little thing is titanium, so it's very lightweight, but it has some really nice teeth to it. So this thing's gonna be great for digging, cutting through roots, but primarily this would be used for cleaning the fire pit out, moving coals around, or digging a latrine, you know, to use it to go to the bathroom in. So really versatile item, and since this is titanium, it doesn't weigh anything. I really like that. It's a great option for camping and backpacking. So that's primarily tools. So now a couple basic items. And these are very dependent on you as a person. So I have a small toiletry kit. I wear contacts and glasses, so I have to have contact solution, some spare contacts, as well as a toothbrush, some toothpaste, a little hand sanitizer, and a small mirror. That's really pretty much all that's in this this kit. Maybe some medications if I have those. Eyeglass case, nice hard shell one, protect my glasses, and of course toilet paper. And what I do is I just take a standard roll, and then I remove the core out of it, and then put that in a bag. And I've had this for years, and it just lasts and lasts because you're only using it, you know, a couple times a weekend or on a trip. So that lasts for a long time. And then another item that maybe you've seen on some of my videos that I use, I always have some type of carabiner connected to either rope, or this is a Night Eyes gear strap. And what this does is this allows me to hang my pack on a tree very easily, and then also gives me some other additional points in the strap to hang other additional things. So it helps organize my gear, and it keeps the pack off the ground. That's really important. Like, you know, why do you want to have your backpack on the ground soaking up water, having critters get into it? It just makes sense to get it off the ground if it's not raining. And if it is raining, you can throw a pack cover over your pack, or a poncho or something, and it'll keep it dry. All right, so let's talk about cooking gear. Really important. It's a big part of what you're going to be doing camping is cooking your food. This is an item that I just picked up, and I have no experience with it yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. So a grill is a really nice thing to have when you're at a campsite. And this one is a grill that I found on Amazon, and it's like $12, okay? It's made by Expedition Research. Comes with this nice little nylon case. There it is. Nice stainless grill with a wire grate, so you're able to cook fish on it, meat, and it's not going to fall through. It's a nice size, so you can get a steak on there, or maybe a couple of chicken breasts. Doesn't have legs, but if you prop it up with some rocks or some logs, you're going to be fine. And just a really handy item to have, and very lightweight. And the price is right, 12 bucks. It's awesome. So there's a lot of fancier grills out there, really expensive ones. Just go to Amazon and get this. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think this is gonna work great, and I'm excited to use it and get it. Food bag. Now, I'm not really gonna go into food. Food is such a personal thing. It's a personal item. Everybody has different tastes and different dietary restrictions or needs, and you know, I usually bring some dehydrated stuff, a variety of snacks, but I also supplement that with fresh meat and eggs, and those things can be brought in frozen and kept in your bag for a day. If it's getting colder out, they can be kept longer, or you can store them, you know, in a wrapped up tight in a bag, put them in a creek, and they will keep for a while. It just really depends on what resources you have available. So having some fresh meat to supplement this dry, dehydrated stuff is awesome. So that's my food bag. And then the next big item for cooking is going to be the cook set or cook gear. Now this has a lot of stuff in it, and maybe it's overkill for some people. Some people just need a little pot because that's all they cook in. But I want a couple different things with me when I'm base camping like this. So since it's cold out, I want an insulated mug that has a lid. And that way when I'm putting my coffee in this or my tea, it's going to stay warm for a while. It's not going to get cold quickly. Another item is this little kitchen bag that I have. And this has my coffee filters and a drip coffee maker. If you've not seen one of these or used one of these, I would check them out because it is a great way to make coffee in the field. If you don't want to use instant coffee, which can suck sometimes, this you put on your mug, stick your coffee mug in there, fill that with fresh grounds, pour your hot water, let it drip, and you have fresh coffee. Easy way to make coffee when you're camping. Now this one I think I got at Walmart, the camping section. It was on sale, on clearance, so you'll have to look around. There's a lot of different brands. GSI makes one that's bigger, but this one was nice and small like that. There's that. A rag for cleanup. Of course, a spork of some sort. I prefer the heavy cover because it's got the spoon and the fork, one on each side, and a bottle opener. Pretty handy. Scrub pad. And then small spatula from GSI. And a pot grabber. And you're going to see why in a minute why I have this. So these are just tools. Kitchen items that I need. Oh, and this is another thing I'm going to be carrying with me this camping season is going to be this red-eyed hog beef fat. It's basically smoked, rendered pork fat with a few other things in it too. And I'm going to use it for seasoning on my pans. So I'll show you what pan I've got here. So these are my primary cooking containers. GSI stainless steel kettle. Just got this, haven't used it yet. I used to have a kettle a long time ago and I really liked it, so I'm going to go back to it. I think it's going to be perfect for winter camping, making up some coffee or tea. And the stainless steel is nice and sturdy. And then one of my favorite items that I have is this Pandero carbon steel frying pan, and that's why I have the pot grabber. This thing works like a carbon or a cast iron skillet, so I can fry eggs and meat in this thing, but it seasons. So this beef fat that I have, I'm going to season that with that to cook in, but it's fairly lightweight compared to a cast iron skillet. So great item. And you can use it as a plate or a bowl because of how deep it is. So it's a perfect multi-purpose item. So now we're going to get into the sleep system. Right now I'm using this French F2, I guess it is. I've been told this is the F2, not the F1. The French two-man commando tent. Did several videos on this. Awesome piece of gear, inexpensive, customizable. Fairly easy to set up, not that bad for weight, 5 or 6 pounds, something like that. Not a bad shelter for camping, so check that out. And then what I use for a ground sheet is I use this this Tyvek material, which is basically house wrap. Just cut to size, very lightweight. An important thing for camping around the campfire is always have a good seat cushion, and now it's getting colder. I like something that's insulated and has some cushion to it, some air, instead of just a flat, closed, foam one. This is just a Hunter specialty seat cushion. I like it because it's large and it inflates and deflates nicely, and it's very durable. It has this really nice durable kind of Cordura material on it. So this, I've had this for years and it works great. So very handy item to have. For my sleep pad, I'm using this insulated static V from Climate. It's the Recon. Let's see, it's a 4-season lightweight sleeping pad. It's R value of 4.4, it's 25 ounces. And it's 72 inches long by 23 inches wide, so just about right. For my pillow, I'm using this Climate X pillow, and this thing is 64 grams or 2.25 ounces, so it is lightweight, weighs nothing, blows up easily, and it's very comfortable. I use that in my hammock as well. And then the main part of any sleep system, of course, is your sleeping bag. And what I'm using is a Big Agnes bag, and this is in an OR dry bag. I love this bag. I've had this for years. It works great because, especially for winter and wet weather, it has this really nice zipper so you can get into the bag very easily. Heavy duty coated material, it's waterproof, cinches down nice, and it holds a big bag. So what I'm using for my sleeping bag is this. This is a semi-rectangular bag. It's a 15-degree bag. It's called the Encampment 15 from Big Agnes. So it's a little bit wider, which is perfect for me because I'm a big guy. I don't like mummy bags. They're too restricting. Some of them I can't even fit into. So this fits me perfectly. What's nice about it is it actually has a built-in pocket on the underside for your pad, and this bottom part is uninsulated because you don't need that. It's going to get compressed. So the pad goes in here and it stays inside your bag. It doesn't move around on you. And then at night, it's got a, and then it also has a pocket for your pillow, or you can stuff your clothes in here, and that's built right into the bag as well. So really awesome sleeping bag. I've had this thing for many years. I've used it well below 15 degrees. I've used it in single digits, and if it gets too cold, then I would supplement that with something else. I would add something to it, like a wool blanket, or maybe another bag on the inside, or just more clothes that I'm wearing inside my bag. Now, last thing besides the backpack is my haversack, and this is, I think, the difference. This is the difference between backpacking and base camping. I want to have something that I can take with me on day hikes when I'm venturing away from my base camp. And the Hidden Woodsman haversack, I think, is a great option, at least for me. Works perfectly. Now, the nice thing about this is I can remove all the items in here, put them in this backpack. This thing can fold down flat and just sit on top of my backpack underneath the lid. But in here, I keep my canteen and my canteen cup. And the reason I'm using a metal canteen for winter camping is because I can heat water in this. And if it freezes in the middle of the night, I can just take that cap off, take that string off, put that in the fire, warm that up. So a really nice option. You can also use a stainless steel water bottle. I have an Nalgene stainless steel bottle that I like a lot. I use that as well, so that's another option for you. And then here I just have a first aid kit and a bandana and a couple personal items, that I'm going to use around camp. My compass, my headlamp, which is rechargeable. This is the O-Light, so that's rechargeable. Then I'll work on that Anchor battery I have. Some 550 cord. So just some smaller items. But all this stuff can easily be packed up made small. And then just wrapped up. And then stored underneath the lid of my backpack. Now I have a small pack for scouting. And you can get even smaller with your haversacks. I mean, obviously this is a much more robust one. An oilskin haversack would be another great option to have because they fold up very small. They're waterproof, water resistant. So, and then the pack is the Marine Corps ILBE that I've customized. Kind of cut off some of the excess stuff, and I've attached a sustain it pouch to the front. Got my tent ready to go. This is what I need for a weekend. I'm set. And the only thing that is not in here would be water. You know, this is dry weight stuff. And camera equipment, and that's it. Maybe some fresh food, meat, things like that. But other than that, I'm ready to roll. And I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. And as always, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.